Hey everybody, welcome back to the Smart Workshop. Today we're tackling a setup that's going to seriously boost your monitoring game. Real-time push notification alerts from Zabbix directly into your Nextcloud Talk channel. No more watching the dashboard or floods of emails. Let's be honest. Zabbix alerts ending up in your inbox, it's the wrong place for them. You want instant notifications, but not a messy inbox. Now you can send these alerts to Slack, Discord, Telegram, or Pushover, but that's all relying on someone else's cloud service. And frankly, we want to keep our data under our control, right? If you're running a Nextcloud server, this is a perfect fit, but there's a catch. Nextcloud Talk doesn't directly support any of those standard plugins, and it doesn't use a standard webhook framework. Don't worry, I've got you covered. Today, we're going to step through adding a custom alert media type to Zabbix, which will send those alerts straight to Nextcloud Talk, giving you those real-time notifications and keeping your data under your control every step of the way. Let's get started. First, log into Nextcloud with your admin account. In the upper right, go ahead and navigate to Accounts section, and we're just going to create a new account. Upper left, click New Account. And let's call this Zabbix Alerts. And we'll give it a display name. I'll just call that Zabbix. Give it a good strong password and an email address, and go ahead and click Add New Account. Another critical step, so you'll need to set up a application password. This allows MFA accounts to issue a separate password associated with that account designed to log in without MFA. So log into your Zabbix account that you just created, click on the username in the upper right, and go to Personal Settings. And under the security section, scroll to the bottom and you'll see devices and sessions. And this is where you can create a new app password. I will call this Zabbix Alerts. Click Create New App Password. And it'll show you the login, which will be the username we created, but it'll be a unique password that will allow programmatic login to this account in a secure manner. So copy this password because this is the only time it'll show you the password. And we'll use that as our configuration password later when we set up the connector in Zabbix itself. So that'll let your Zabbix service account log into Nextcloud without MFA, which will be necessary for this to work. We want to go to Nextcloud Talk. So I'll assume you have Nextcloud Talk set up. That's kind of outside of the scope of this. Later this year, I will be doing a series on setting up Nextcloud. So if you're interested in Nextcloud and don't yet have that set up, we're going to cover that a little bit later. So once you're logged in with your Zabbix user account, let's go to the Nextcloud Talk section of the web app, and we're going to need to create a new channel. In the upper left here, we've got this little icon. Go ahead and click this, create new conversation, and we're going to call this Zabbix Alerts. You can give it an icon if you want. By the way, pro tip here, I do actually recommend giving this an icon because when you get alerts on your mobile device, for example, it'll show that icon as the incoming alert. It'll give you a good visual cue that what that incoming message is actually a Zabbix alert before you even look at it and read it. So we're going to create our new conversation and we're going to add some participants. So you're going to want to add your usual Zabbix account to this because you need to be joined into this conversation in order to receive alerts on it. Now we have Nextcloud Talk set up and we just need to grab one piece of information out of here before we head over to Zabbix. So look up in your browser bar at the full URL for that channel. The very end of this is going to have this random string. Go ahead and copy that because you're going to need that over in Zabbix. So make a note of that. Before we move into Zabbix, we're going to need to download the custom YAML template so that we can create this alert media type in Zabbix. I've got a link down in the description below. This is captured over in the Smart Workshop's GitHub repository. I forked this from the original developer just to make sure it wouldn't go away. So full credit to the original developer of this tool. Link to his GitHub handle here below. Navigate here and click into the YAML file itself. And then in the upper right, there is a little kind of download icon here and it says download raw file. So we want to do this on the .yaml file so that we can download this template and we'll be able to use this in Zabbix. Now, before we go any further, before you import anything into Zabbix, our usual best practice, let's take a look at this code and see exactly what it does. So what this is doing is just defining the media types, typical behavior in there. It's setting it as a webhook type and passing various parameters to it. So that's the alert payload, password, all of the configuration details in order to talk to Nextcloud. And then the script portion of it will define how it formulates and formats that alert into Nextcloud Talk's expected JSON format, which is unfortunately not like standard webhooks. So that's why we have to do this extra bit here. Thankfully, it's not too complicated. Please do take a moment to just step this YAML file, understand what this script here does and how it takes that alert and combines that into a JSON string and then passes that payload onto the alert. Once you're comfortable with what we're going to be importing here, let's go ahead and turn our attention over to Zabbix itself. So get into Zabbix and let's navigate to alerts and media types on the left side here. And you'll see all of the alert types that are in Zabbix by default. In the upper right, we're going to click import and we're going to browse for that YAML file that we just downloaded. So click choose file, go find that file and click import. Okay, great. Now in the list of media types, let's find it. It's a long list, so I'm going to search for Nextcloud. On the far left of that line where it says Nextcloud and has a link, go ahead and click into that. This is going to show us all the default settings for this media type. First of all, on the very bottom, make sure it's enabled. Won't get too far without that. And then let's step each of these parameters. The message will be this curly braced alert.message. Leave that as is. That's how it passes that message payload into the media type. Password will of course be the password of our Zabbix account in your Nextcloud talk. Send to, this will be that random string I had you capture for that conversation over in Nextcloud talk. So go ahead and paste that into here. The server URL will be the fully qualified path to your Nextcloud instance. And then the user, of course, is the username that we set up over in Nextcloud Talk. No other changes to make here in the media type. So go ahead and click update. And now let's test this media type. Click on the test link on the far right of that line. When you click test, you should get an alert over in your Nextcloud Talk channel. The message will literally say alert.message, and that's fine. This is just a test. Receiving that message indicates that the media type is working, and when we configure that to send alerts to it, you will receive those. So we'll cancel out of that. We're all set up. Now we need to tell Zabbix to actually use that media type to send alerts to. To do this, we're going to set a trigger action. On the left side, go to Alerts, go to Actions, and go to Trigger Actions, and click Create Action. Give it a name that makes sense to you. And we're going to need to add a condition. We'll want to choose the type trigger severity. We'll say operator is greater than or equals, and we'll say warning. So this is going to send all alerts of a severity type of warning or more critical. Click add. So now we've defined what alerts to trigger on. And now we need to say what to do when such an alert comes in. So on the Operations tab, under Operations, click Add, and we'll say Send to Users, and we'll select our admin account, whatever your default account is that you use with Zabbix, and send to media type. If you only have this one media type configured, it's fine to say all available and leave it there. However, just to be more prescriptive, we'd want to go ahead and add the Nextcloud media type here and click add. And let's do the same for our recovery operations and our update operations. So I'll show you recovery. We're going to say send message to the same user, media type, Nextcloud, add, and same for update operations. This will make sure you get alerted of incidents as they occur, but also just as important, it'll let you know when that alert clears too. Great, we are all set. So now all that's left is to test it. I recommend head on over to your dashboard, identify a server that you can just reboot, and you'll see that alert appear in the dashboard as you expect, but then you'll also see that alert appear in that Nextcloud Talk channel, which you can then receive on your mobile device if you like. Awesome, now we're getting real-time notifications when things happen, when things get resolved. We're not clogging up our inbox with a bunch of junk alerts, which just absolutely makes me crazy. That's the wrong place for alerts. This is seriously a huge upgrade for your monitoring setup. And there's a brand new studio build underway. You may have noticed I'm in a new space. There's something happening around me, but this is just a small sliver of a massive studio for the Smart Workshop. But I'm also really excited to share a spin-off channel launching later this year that is very different from this one on a topic that's very near and dear to me for over 30 years. I am so pumped to share this with you guys. More on that one soon. If you found this helpful, hit that like button, subscribe to the Smart Workshop if you're not already, and I'm releasing some seriously cool content coming up. Deploying Nextcloud in Docker, as we talked about, native container backups, and getting back to some local AI deployment strategies and some cool 3D printing projects as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time in the Smart Workshop.